Hello guys, and welcome back to Field of Glory Empires. Our first ever playthrough here, playing as Saba. In the last episode, we went ahead and got through a couple of years in game, building up, starting now, a new army, a third army, which we're still adding to. We started hitting a cap of metal that we can accumulate. I don't know where we see this cap, but we hit it, so trying to keep us kind of stable around that zone. Manpower, our biggest limiter right now. Money's doing great. I could pay for manpower. I don't think I need to. The income's fine enough. Our population's booming as all these new zones we've taken over fill up, and we're about ready to attack Arabia. Arabia has attacked us twice now in this playthrough, and I think I'm just about ready to attack them myself. Now, it won't drag Ethiopia in because it is a offensive war, but actually they're still at war with Ethiopia. After all this time, they still haven't made any peace. These guys get along with Egypt, so the sooner we deal with them, the better. Each time they have attacked me, I've taken one, I think two the next time. First, I took like this, and then I took these in wars. This was still the most valuable thing. I don't really know what my goal is this time, but we have two full armies, and we have another one forming. That's a pretty good sign, and we'll need to watch our manpower and metal because it'll be used to restock our units in a way. So, Arabia, I'm going to declare war on them this time. So, war, declare war. There you go. You'll be declaring war to, not with, Arabia. And that will get us at war with them and maybe kicking their butts. They've had a nice, easy time expanding north. They're some sort of oasis nomads. They lost their most recent capital that had their next biggest amount of buildings right here. They actually lost it to some rebels, so I don't know how they're sustaining any military at the moment. They're not in any, well, active wars they have to worry about. They've never gone to fight Ethiopia, so most of this, yeah, there's some population, but really this was the scariest place because it had their palace and whatnot. Now their palace is up here. So their palace guards are right here. If we look at the provinces, we've started on taking this, but I don't really know what's important, what's not. Definitely, if we could get the rest of Saracina from them, because they own all of that, that would be pretty great. Then we could have the province of Saracina, and that comes with certain benefits. Of course, if we could take this province from them too, it would be great, but it all depends what they'd accept in the war score, or if we conquer them, maybe that bypasses the war score. I'm still learning this game. This is still a first playthrough. But we got that war declaration sent out. I do believe that I have every other building going by now. We do have more infantry building for our new army. This will, I guess, kind of end up being a defensive army in this war. This guy's coming up to join this army, my original army, where we can't stay here for too long because they don't have the food here to really supply this for all that long. And we need to move up and prepare for an attack here as well. We have the most excess food over here, so we'll get moving up around there. Over here in Arga, because that will have the most sustainability for this army. Not for the long term. That's been a big problem with these wars. I haven't been able to sustain myself on the borders. When you have a province, it's a lot easier. When you don't have a province, it's a lot harder. But we're getting into position for the war. We'll be ready for the war, hopefully, and we'll push into their territory. Almost exclusively Saracina here at the start, because I don't see a reason to attack the rebels that have taken this over. And my god, they have 21 units that can defend. That's crazy. That might take two of my armies to unearth. Now, they may not have any palace guards here, but that would still come with some losses. Those elephants are really squishy. I definitely think it's the elephants I would not want taking on such a battle. I don't think it would be a siege. No, it wouldn't. So honestly, if there was an army of just heavy infantry, that would be the best. But maybe that's something this new army can do once it gets up to snuff. I'm not really sure. But that's about all we have to do. There's no need to do any of this other stuff right now. Let's go ahead and hit end turn. Move it over into the next year. And we'll see what goes on. There goes all the troops moving, which is sometimes misleading. Wow, this new nation of Blemmies is at war with Egypt, I guess. They kind of formed out of nowhere. I don't really know where they came from. But they seem to be at war with Egypt. I could have looked at that. Maybe it's new. I'm not sure. A new war has begun between us and Arabia. Yep, that's a given. Now, what about these guys with Blemies? So they're at war with Egypt and Nabatea. I don't think they were at war just moments ago, but... Huh. That's quite interesting. Egypt is also at war with the Antigonids, who they border. Ethiopia, who they kind of border while fighting Nubia. They're at war with Nubia as well. And with Macedonia. So they're at war on like all sides. And now Blemies. Damn. And they only have Nabatea to help them. So they're kind of besieged on all sides. That's good for me. The weaker Egypt is, the better. Because then I have more room to expand and more things I can do. The Seleucids and Antigonids are further to be massive problems of mine. Moria looks like they would like me. It might be that eventually I would have to maybe go for cooperation. I mean, I could potentially get cooperation with Moria right now. There's a chance. They're close enough. Seleucids really doesn't want any such thing from me. Seleucids are probably going to be an antagonist to me in the future, but Moria does seem to like me. Moria has Arachosia as a client state, so yeah. Moria could be something to conquer as well, but they have some interesting mechanics that would make that kind of difficult. If anything, if we could get them to like us, that would be great. If we got some sort of alliance, they could defend us against the Seleucids, or they could try. They could at least fight. They seem to do very well. I mean, look at this right here. This is all stuff that they've taken over. Yeah. It's backwards from Paradox. Like, the stripes are the original owners. The little stripes are the original owners. The big stripes are the ones that took it over. So, maybe we ask 18% chance cooperation with Moria. That could be useful. That could be, yeah. Let's see. Blemies, for the second time, rejected my offer of cooperation with them. So, I can try cooperation again. 20% chance to go through. And... let's see, bad health of one of our generals forced him to retire. That was one we weren't using. We got another progress token. That's pretty good. Our leader's gonna die soon as well. Something we gotta be careful of. Now that I'm on the border, I don't see anyone here defending except the ones that are like the garrison itself. So, this might be easier to take over than I gave it credit for, especially now that it's not owned by Arabia. New public works law. Condition for workers has worsened as a result. Loyalty penalty, duration 5. We might inherit that, which is unfortunate. But we're going to move this army, our Arabia Felix army here. And it's going to go attack this. This has 7 units that can defend it. There's no other armies atop it. So we should do pretty well there. Additionally, we take our original army here and move it on into more enemy territory. Both pretty undeveloped, but... you know, that's welcome to the Middle East right now, right? I guess welcome to Arabia. Still, it's more land in Saracena, which will be good. We kind of push in on both sides here. 2 different attacks going on. This army is getting stronger. This one does have a second heavy infantry now because we moved the warrior from the original army down here. Don't know why it shows that they have a difference. Oh, because of experience. I was like, a difference in combat power, but I don't know why. They should be equivalent. This is experience level 4, that's why. Fair enough. Alright. Nothing special here. We have finished a monument here, and we do have 2 building slots for this location. Monument has added to culture production. That's pretty nice. We barely sustain our infrastructure here, which is quite interesting. You can have a school. Huh. I don't think I've seen a school before. It reduces decadence. Oh, that's nice. Something that reduces decadence by 0.6. Interesting. That would counter, like, I think all decadence gain here, because we have the Preceptor House doing the same thing. Doesn't use a slot. It's missing a culture bonus from Wax, unfortunately. But it doesn't use a slot, and it's pretty good. There's other things here I could use that use slots, but I've never seen a school before, and this could bring this area down to 0 decadence, realistically. That would be pretty nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that school. It comes with a little bit of culture and a little bit of infrastructure as well. And we need to import papyrus, which is costing us money, but that's fine. Money is great. I'm going to build that school there. I haven't seen that pop up ever. Land expansion is finished here. We have 1 slot available. Only 1 slot. Decadence pretty bad here. Nothing really reducing it. And nothing up yet that can reduce it. I can add a training ground. Adds XP to units that are created to troops in general, maybe? I don't know. Or I could go for a pleasure house, but we don't have a bonus of money from perfume, so it would mainly be good for the loyalty. Loyalty's pretty high here. I'll take the training ground just because, you know, it doesn't consume a slot. That's pretty simple. We've got a new population over here from our admirable healthcare. We have only one slot available right now. Let's see what we can build. So a cult site would be pretty useful. Everything here uses a slot. Yeah, everything here uses a slot. The culture or the cult site would be nice. It would add some conversion, not that that's too important for this specific location. Otherwise, the brickwork, which would add some passive infrastructure, some more passive infrastructure, would be kind of useful as well. Food, always useful as well. Producing horses, sanitation. There's a lot of options here. Not sure which I care about the most. This does already have a bonus from stone, so that is nice. That is nice. I think I'll add the brickwork there. Yeah, we'll take the brickwork for more infrastructure. Might mean I can just like move more guys off of infrastructure there. I saw one reason Moria is open to cooperation with us is because it would open trade opportunities for them. There's a lot of modifiers that determine a lot of things. Blemmies is partially because they're so small. It's partially because I'm a glorious nation. I was looking at all of that. If you look over here, our rulers negotiating with talent. Something about a sophisticated civilization, probably just being like a higher tier as well. It would strengthen our relationships. In some instances they want that, in some they don't. It's weird. Different nations appear to have different priorities. So that is essentially our whole turn. I'm not going to spend any manpower. We're only gaining 19 right now. We might want to have nice little excess, right? If we're going to replenish any upcoming losses. In fact, I might need to pay for some, but that wouldn't be any problem. We have 2 battles coming up here. We see the Arabian armies. The Arabian military seems to have just fucking died like after our last war, which will be very useful. Defending enemy combat power is just awful. It's all skirmishers, urban militia. They have some regular infantry, so it's actually not entirely terrible. But there you go. Skirmishers doing well. Our elephants, when they can attack, doing amazing. We got some rear attacks right there with the cavalry. Even the regular infantry can't really stand up. The offensive capability of these elephants is huge. When they do die, you know, it's sad. Replace them with a regular infantry or someone like this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the front was quite small with 8. So our regular infantry didn't even do anything. It was all elephants in the front. Plus like some cav, which weren't even really all needed. So all those defenders are dead. Next one. It's just, yep, regulars, 2 regular, skirmishers, urban militia. There you go. This one we don't have any elephants. This is our original army. Wow, that went really well for us. Attack values on infantry like this, not nearly as good as on the elephants. We do have the heavy infantry in the middle. We have 2 heavy infantry. Very expensive metal-wise. Or maybe we could have more. But hey, we won the battle. Really didn't take any damage here either. That's pretty good. We've occupied 2 more pieces of Saracena. And Arabia definitely... Ooh, I think they did an emergency levy. I just saw 10 Arabians come out of thin air. I think they did an emergency levy. Understandable. They did that, I think, in now 2 out of 3 of our wars. Raise loyalty, reduce unrest with religious buildings. I think I usually do this. I think I usually do this one right here. 10% less tax income, but plus 5 loyalty bonus for 12 turns. I think that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I'll do this one. It's just a minimal loyalty bonus everywhere. And it's just a tax income reduction if we don't have religious buildings. Every place that has religious, or a lot of tax income, also has religious buildings. So, not really a problem. We've conquered a place. Yeah, we conquered a place. Our ruler's health is now very bad at the age of 59. What does emergency levy do again? You got a ratio. So if you're very outnumbered power-wise, that's when you can do the emergency. And it consumes legacy, yeah. So we've never done that. New general available, Ruma. That's definitely an emergency levy. Yep, formed up a new army to protect the nation. And it came with 2 heavy infantry, 2 cavalry, 2 light cavalry, 2 regular infantry, some skirmishers. Not like super amazing, but not awful. Especially with the other defenders here. I would be concerned about attacking this place because it doesn't have walls. So all the defenders would come out, and that would include 2 more heavy infantry. Now, out of all of my armies, this is the best one to do it with because of all the elephants. We'd probably take some losses in the attempt, to be fair. But this is still probably the best one to do it with. We probably want to sit still and recover this turn. Because, yeah, it's not looking too great. Move over to infrastructure. We don't need anybody on culture. We don't need anybody on money. So just go to food. Just conquered and occupied. Very bad. Ooh. What the hell? Ethnicity Semitic. Oh yeah, we're desertic. They were building a smokehouse here. I can change that. I don't think this... I don't think that's even like the best idea here. I think maybe a salt mine's better, but either way, who knows if we'll even keep this. And we conquered this. This wasn't building anything at all. Its food is doing awful. It is no buildings now that it doesn't have its oasis. Moving that literally changes nothing. Damn, I'll put you on the shepherd house, but like this cannot sustain the food for like even 1 turn of... yeah, oh gosh, because we also... don't even have, like, this isn't a province. Well, I can create the province right now, which I think would take it from them. That would help keep this stuff together a lot better. The province of Saracena. But we'd really have to take a lot of stuff over to make that sustainable. This might turn into another staring match, but that shouldn't be awful given the situation over here. I'm not too concerned about, like, taking these over. I'd rather get a bunch of Saracena, if anything, because, you know, then I get a province. It'll take the place that has the highest culture and turn that into the capital. I question what that will be. Maybe this, because there's 431 culture here. But we just took it over. We're only occupying it, so that is kind of strange to think that that could be the capital. Still, that could only be helpful to me to have a province. There's only 1 infantry here that has any effectiveness loss whatsoever right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to push the offensive this way. There's 7 defenders, but they're not that great or anything. Why is Decadence so high here? Just from their nation size, and they have nothing to counter it. Yeah, I see. Nation size can add a lot. That's why I gotta get buildings to counter it. They only have a light cavalry here otherwise, so... The elephants in our Arabia Felix army, they'll just rest. The original army will push forward. Do we have elephants over here somewhere? I don't think we do. Oh, hey, we finished an orchard. That's nice. Are there elephants over here? There are not any elephants over here. I was just curious. We have an orchard over here now. That's good. That adds to the food production for the whole province. That's very good. We have a lot of slots here because just building is so slow here in general. Oh, we don't have a lot of resources like to really fund a brickwork, for example. I don't really want to consume a lot of this other stuff. I'd rather just get like either infrastructure or food, so a stud to produce horses wouldn't be so bad. If it's going into food, then, you know, we could take the citizens, put them all on infrastructure to speed up building in general, leave the slaves on food. I think that's usually what I've been doing more recently, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, and then infrastructure can just help everything in the region build better. Adramite got another slave after the battle. That's good. We're still expanding on slaves even if we're not buying more. And, I mean... I could, I think I will, because this goes away in 4 turns now. Just distribute the slaves. Just choose that one. I'll do that like occasionally. Spread them out a little bit. I still don't feel like buying anymore. Loyalty's doing fine, but still, I don't feel like buying anymore at the moment. And, let's see. We got a new population here. And a slave here. Oh, good gosh. No built-up food, but a ton. An absolute ton of excess food. Holy crap. And we're building a clay pit, so that's just going to add to infrastructure. This is a lot of dudes on food. I think I'm going to move one to culture here. I don't have more than 1 dude on culture very often, because I don't really need it. Culture is good, right? You do need culture. Culture is very good. The more cultured a location is, the higher decadence. So the more culture you're producing in general, the more you have. It counters decadence, you know, it gets you legacy. Occasionally, adding more might be useful. You could also move it to, like, money. Eventually, I just might not min-max this stuff in general. I might let the AI do it. I know we've looked at that, but I don't see a reason to. We have finished a large quarry here. There you go. That increases the infrastructure in this zone as well. I have another citizen here that I could do the same thing with. I could like put them somewhere else. I could put them on infrastructure, certainly. Or I could just keep making things that add to infrastructure in this region. We have 4 slots here at the moment. That is quite a lot. There's a siege workshop. Siege resist. Garrisons. 2 times siege. Extra large siege engines during a siege. Interesting. This is an upgrade to something I already built. But it doesn't... And here's the thing I don't like about it. I want the ability to make siege engines. I don't really care about having siege engines as a defense, although, you know, siege resist and garrisons is always a good thing, but we don't really come under attack very often, so other things are what we need more. Yeah, let me tell you, dude, we're gonna get this warehouse. With stone and lumber, we get bonuses. It's just a gigantic infrastructure generator plus a big bonus. Infrastructure matters so much in this particular location. We don't even have an herbalist here yet. That's so funny. But we're going to get that warehouse. It's very important for the dam to stop it from breaking. And I don't want to just keep dumping all these pops, all these citizens into infrastructure if I can help it. I want to be able to put citizens on other tasks as well. Money, like culture. Here is probably the last place we need more dudes on culture. Money, we're lucky enough to really... just not need really anything to begin with. Otherwise, everything is building. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's all hunky-dory. We have 79 manpower. Not burning through a lot of it. We have suddenly more metal production that it's positive. I have no idea how. I'm assuming it's come from these new locations. You know, I checked it. It's hilarious. Arabia's already more willing to give me peace and the 2 things I took over than it's willing to do a lot of other things, which is hysterical. But I think we have even though they were able to call in an emergency levy, I think we're going to do decently. Look at these new nations just spawning out of nowhere. Occasionally, I guess it's like what a rebellion is. When a location rebels, I'm guessing, from low loyalty. Oh my god. The AI, in general, I think, is not as good as a player at managing loyalty. Especially these really large nations. But somewhere like Rome is better for it. That's probably where all these new nations are coming from. I mean, look at this. We got a new nation right here. Elimace and Persia. These are new. These are all rebellions out of the Seleucids. Might be where Atropatene came from as well. I'm not sure, but that's probably where Blemies came from. That's for sure. Nubia's still getting their butts beat. We've given everyone orders. Not going to spend any of that manpower at the moment. Whatever the metal's doing, it's fine. So we're just going to end turn. And we're going to see how this next attack goes. Let our elephants recover. Still just have that other army sitting on the capital, eating all my food. That's another thing. As you get more armies, you need more food. Huh? What? I think... Oh god, they have so many units. I don't even know where this came from. They might have had more in the back that I just didn't see. Because now there's 33 units all of a sudden and 122 combat power. This is kind of terrifying. Oh my good god, where did this come from? And there's a lot of heavy infantry in here. Well then, and this is a big, big battle. Like, most things are on the front. So we're engaging, and we won that roll anyway. They do, again, have a lot of infantry, a lot of heavy infantry on the front. But hopefully we could do well enough in these rolls that their vast outnumbrance of me won't be that big of an issue. Even with their attack rolls, I don't see them doing anything quite major. And we are actually defeating some of their heavy infantry. We are taking damage in some cases. They do have a lot of support. They got support for basically just about everybody. We haven't lost anyone. We have taken some damage. Even being attacked, our Cameliers are doing quite well. And the skirmishers in the back, we were able to pursue since we did so well in the battle, wiping out more of their front line and some of their rear line. So that hurt a lot. But Euchre reminds me of Eunuch. We did win the battle, though. and that chased the rest of them away. Oh my gosh, that was actually kind of terrifying. I don't know where they got so many troops from. It's probably their main army. It was probably just out of my sight. I just didn't see it. I didn't know it was there. We got another progress token. We're gonna get that like progress into the like extra glorious empire with the bonus at this rate, which gives, yeah, the golden age, more decadence gain, 75% less from conquest, which would be handy to have already. Taxation and culture up. Lemmy's rejected our offer. Maria rejected our offer. Oh, great. All of a sudden, this location is in unrest. All of a sudden, this location is in unrest. Why are you in unrest? This location has it the worst. We got that third progress token, new feast day to the calendar. A general died of many years in service of natural causes. Conquered this, so there's that army. Kind of terrifying. Kind of terrifying. Food here isn't the best. Even if I put everybody on food, it really doesn't get a whole lot better. It really doesn't. And buildings are not going to build here very much. Not very well, no. This whole province is doing pretty bad for food. It's trying to sustain like 2 different armies at this point as well. This doesn't actually look too great. When I looked last turn, if I got the first 2 things I captured, it was like a 40-something% peace chance. It's already up now to a 66% if I include this third thing that I've taken over as well. I am tempted. Because it's going to be really, really difficult to maintain this. Because we just don't have a lot of food in this whole region. We've been raided. There's all these other problems. It's not very developed in general. I see this is where the province capital went. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. There's a little bit of a nexus here. No growth because it knows it's probably just going to consume itself. I actually don't know if the province bonuses are being shared out here. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I could try to just, you know, go grab more things, but ooh. There's nothing to forage out here, really. Out here, anyway. That army of 16 is a huge problem, even if it is injured. We are also injured, and the food here doesn't look too great. I kind of have to sit still with that army for right now. This one can move again. The only logical place to move it would be somewhere that takes care of a threat, I think. And that would, like, be here. That would be their capital. They have a problem with food as well. Now that they have so many units on there. There's only a combat power of 39 on that. There's another 9 units here. I don't know where they even got this. Did you summon more? Yeah. Oh, a mercenary army, 2 now. Which isn't exactly mercenaries. It's a combination of things. We could potentially do well. We could potentially do well here. They are like somewhat injured for some reason. The problem's going to be the fact that there's another 8 units back here that can come up to fight me, and I don't know if we're going to be ready for that. So I have to think over this decision of how we're going to proceed. We could try to like make do with what we have, get what we can get, or we can try to push the offensive further. Regardless, getting 3 things would be pretty nice, and it would allow me to kind of recover and get some more food generation and things. And I still have other directions I can look as well, like here and maybe even down here. I'm not sure. But this feels like a nice full episode. So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.